Is starting. So, Steve, you want to do the intro for this game?
Why not? So basically, here we go. We are in the finals of the tournament, which is what did you call the bracket? 3AE. We are in bracket AE of the AirMech Double Kill Tournament, presented by Grizzly Wings, sponsored by Carbon Games, organized by Areyouwhy. I am Steve. We are on Areyouwhy's Twitch channel. And I got Areyouwhy here on me. Up in the top corner here on Duel, we have Mimo, consisting of Turkleton, pulling out that pumpkin saucer. NuclearPizza in his support role as that Envision. I cannot talk today.
No, dude, I mess it up like crazy, yeah.
And on the bottom half, we've got Team
Winged Walruses.
Winged Walruses. Consisting of Broadside breaking out that wonderful Alpha Striker and Tangibility in a very basic, straightforward Striker itself. And here we go, Areyouwhy. Game is on. What do you see happening for this game, man? Any predictions?
It's you know, Duel is probably the most played map of any map in the AirMech map pool. I am aware that Broadside doesn't really like Duel, and I'd have to tend to agree with the reasons behind it, because it's kind of mid-centric, and you know, it's kind of all about that mid-fight. But I know that both teams are 100% aware of all the common strategies in this, on this map, and right now they are both going straight for mid, and both from the same angle. And Turkleton getting a kill on Broadside there. So it will put the green team a little bit behind in that mid-fight. And Turkleton and NuclearPizza are a little bit ahead, 35 to well, they're technically a tad bit behind. Now it's even 35 to 36. So don't count out anyone quite yet. For some reason, we do have a couple of flamers dropped by Tangibility, and dropping 3 at a time. Gonna try to take that outpost under control, but there's so many tanks on the left side that he's not gonna be able to do it. A couple creeps walk in, they will be able to get it. It will get them a little bit of experience. Oh, and I did not just notice there are a couple of distraction jokers sent here to this to the fort. Nothing defending, so Turkleton is forced to respond, and Death Ray himself. Oh, there are some Gemini moving out, or some tanks moving out by the Carbon team, and actually has gotten them a pretty good position, and has gotten them the forward position on this mid-fight with their tanks.
That it has, and NuclearPizza very, very close to going down, but winds up doing a nice little dance, gets out of there, survives, and just for the fact of taking a tiny little bit of damage on their main base, I mean, taking over this mid-power station is very significant.
Oh, yes.
But, I mean, we are not dealing with, average players here. With these high-level players on here, I would not discount anybody just because that they lost mid at this point. There's still a lot of fight left to come in this match.
You're definitely 100% correct, but we do have Memento Mori moving out after the Wing Walruses tried to go for that close outpost cheese, and there's pretty much nothing defending here at Wing Walruses close. I think this will probably do a good amount of damage. It might not be able to take the outpost over, but it will clean up a lot of units. Oh, actually, never mind. This is and NuclearPizza changed the command to attack, and Broadside now trying to finish off the Longhorn, reaching their fort. They do have that lunchbox, so they do have that overshield. And Tangi now with a couple Jackals. That was a really, really strange push out. I would say that was a little overly aggressive, and yeah, I mean, obviously it didn't work very well for their team. And Broadside and Tangi were able to defend very, very well at that. I mean, not necessarily well, but do a pretty standard defense that was very effective. And now they do have the middle outpost pretty much under the control, and they are outnumbering the unit count of Memento Mori at this point, even at this mid fight.
That they are, but I mean, definitely this mid is nowhere clear as to who it is that's still going to wind up with it. I mean, so much back and forth, so much resources going into it. The only potential drawback is because it's so focused on anything, is that in the end, whoever really solidly winds up with this, the other team is going to be at such a major disadvantage because they put so much time, effort, and money into trying to take it, and it didn't work out for them. That if they don't have a different strategy under their belt or something along those lines, they could be in a really bad situation very, very quickly.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of looks like that's well, it's sort of weird. There's no units here at the mid for the green team. The carbon team has a lot of units, but less units in their unit, less unit cap right now. So it's just a little bit strange. Just looking at the numbers, it looks like that the carbon team threw away a lot of units. But if you look at the units out on the field, the green team doesn't really have that much support at mid. Now the carbon team has been forced to pull back, and the green team is getting a better foothold on this mid. Tangi with his patrolling jokers. It's really great for those for distracting tank fire, as tanks have really slow turret rotation for the most part nowadays, except for Gemini. Gemini have really good anti-medium and anti-light capabilities, and what you see on the carbon team is half and half. So it does look like the carbon team has kind of given up on doing a direct mid attack. Oh, and we do have Broadside grabbing that credit box. The other credit box, I guess that was stolen already by the by Memento Mori, and or it was stolen by Tangi. I'm not sure. Did you happen to catch that, Steve?
No, I've been trying to actually figure that out as to who got it. I'm guessing it was Memento Mori, but I am not 100% sure. I did not see it actually happen.
Broadside did get the right one, and he did just now do a scout of the fort. I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's the carbon fort is not defended whatsoever, but is it undefended enough, or do they have enough units actually to go in for a killing blow instead of wasting a lot of their high-cost tanks? Tangi is just sending, or it could have been Broadside too, because they're both going with the Joker in their loadouts. And it does look like Tangi is doing the repositioning, does allow Broadside to kill a couple more units here on the forward to mid fight, and the Jokers do go down. A couple of tanks get allocated for that fort defense by Memento Mori, but and we do have a jammer out on the field for Memento Mori. So it will kind of nullify that artillery attack. What was that, Steve?
I mean, one of the things I was really surprised about is since the fact it was just strictly a Joker push was the fact that both members of Memento Mori actually decided to respond and try to deflect it, leaving Broadside completely open and do what he wants. I mean, that's nothing against Nemo, but that's not something I would actually expect from a higher tier team to both of them respond strictly for a few Jackals, Jokers, whatever ones that they were.
You know what I think it might
still stay on the foreground.
You know what I think it might have been? They probably, it's very likely they didn't scout it, in their normal game view. They might have only been able to scout it on their minimap. And when you see a long line of green dots coming for your carbon fort, and you think, oh man, that might be tanks, then it's definitely something that requires that urgent attention. So that's kind of an interesting strategy that Tangi's going. I don't know if he's planning on trying to sort of deceive Mimo, in that they might not be sure what's actually approaching their fort, but Tangi and Broadside using so many Jokers here very effectively, I might add, using them to contribute to Moneymaker harass, and Tangi actually killing quite a lot of Moneymakers in just that trip alone. I think he killed two for the price of 2 Jokers, and I don't think they're actually rebuilding quite yet. And even patrolling around this this forward outpost, lots of tanks, but it's 78 to 43 right now. The outpost, the upkeep difference is growing and growing very slowly, and now we do have a death push coming out. Oh man, that's a lot of Longhorns, Steve.
That is a lot of Longhorns, a few Jokers in the front lead, but that is a lot of damage that's coming in. And if Memento Mori thinks that hey, it's just it's not going to be anything other than a few Jokers, they would be caught off guard. But clearly, NuclearPizza did see it, he did spot it, and I think they have enough of a defense that so long as they support their units, I don't see much from this at
Tangi
all.
did a switch to T and a mass hold position, so now that fort allocated defense is gonna pretty much not, I don't want to say go to waste, but it's not gonna work the way that it kind of needed to. And they're even pushing in to the forward outpost. They have the close outpost incredibly well surrounded. We are only less than 8 minutes into this game, and Broadside and Tangibility pretty much very close to dominating. It's just pretty much one outpost left, that back corner outpost, and the question is, do they even need it? Now we do have a counter push by Mimo for their close outpost, so they will be able to get that back. But Mimo has lost their forward, and Broadside and Tangi now working on the corner post and clearing units left and right. They will get this outpost neutralized. Turk and Nuclear focusing on that close, and NuclearPizza now does see the close their back corner outpost is completely neutralized. There's nothing there. It's just a Longhorn in support, and Tangi even taking a little bit of extra time to try to kill any smoking black units on on the Mimo side. It's 28-69. It's I would call this already. You know, Mimo is so far behind, and Broadside and Tangi know what they are doing when they are ahead, and it's just a little ridiculous how well they were able to do this. It was just, yeah, it's just, I am astonished by their play at this point.
And this really goes to show for those people that might be watching this, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching right now live on Twitch, it really goes to show, guys, that if you're sending in some units, some tanks to an attack and a base attack, you see that there's so much defense right there, don't be afraid to turn around and take half of your push and redirect them to another place. I mean, that one movement basically was the entire, most likely the determination of this entire match was the fact that Tangibility let a few tanks still stay in there for the distraction, but sent 2/3 of those tanks backwards to an outpost instead. That to me really is a big deciding factor of when everything changed in this match.
Oh yeah, and you know, I always say switch to T. You know, why switch to T? I think my viewers are tired of hearing that, but you know, that pretty much, I don't know if that was, I don't know if maybe that push would have worked pretty well anyway. Maybe it would have been able to break that fort defense, but that's kind of a maybe. You know, Mimo had a lot of tanks there to make that defense, and that probably was the winning move of this entire final match. At this point, they have almost entire map control, putting so much pressure on that fort, 66-22, and Broadside and Tangibility just gonna slowly take this close outpost, and now they are finally dominating. Well, after 30 seconds, they will be in imminent danger, or they are in imminent danger, I should say. And now dominated in 20 seconds. Yeah, and now Nuclear and Turk. Oh god, NuclearPizza almost getting focus fired. I mean, would it have really mattered? Probably not. They are far enough behind to pretty much call this game already. Turk actually able to kill quite a lot of units just with, oh wow, kill 3 artillery with his death rate like insanely fast. And oh, Broadside getting the kill on NuclearPizza though. NuclearPizza keeping Turk alive but getting himself killed. And so this top close outpost has been neutralized. So they are no longer in danger of being dominated, but they are still in danger, period. They're still in danger of being dominated, just without the game saying that you're being dominated. Without the game mechanic domination, they are still in danger of actually being dominated in the definition of the word. However, I mean, I would say that they almost had it with that initial push. You know, it was a little weird how they went out so early. I think that actually, if you're going to call the tank push from mid switch to T instead of going to Y, and the Jokers as well, they were switched to T. If you're going to call that the game-winning move, I think the move that lost the game for NuclearPizza and Turkleton is probably that initial time that they sent out from mid when they had. I would say they had. I mean, they obviously had the advantage in that mid fight, but then they started to send out units, and that was so. Honestly, that's one of the most confusing things I've ever seen, especially from a team like NuclearPizza and Turkleton. Really surprised to see that, and you know, it caused them to lose a lot of units. Broadside and Tangibility were able to heal them, not heal them up, but you know, in that approach to the fort, in that approach to that outpost, they were able to kill everything.
Pretty much. I mean, there's no other way to put it on there, and I mean, I really hate to say, because like I said, I mean, Team Mimo was a favorite for this tournament. Their playstyle has always been nothing but just A game the whole time, so it was really I would say like a surprising movement for them to feel that they were ready to go and push before it was time. And actually, they're actually
just said that. Did you see that? Yeah. NuclearPizza just said that, and that was probably what decided the game. And there we go. That is it. GG. Finals goes to Tangibility and Broadside. Our champions are teamed Wing Walruses. And great game by Team Memento Mori. Great approach, not great approach, but I guess great progression toward this stage of the tournament. But our champions today of the double kill tournament, our double kill champions, are Broadside and Tangibility, Team Winged Walruses. Yes. Yes. GGWP.